Evolution of Reuben. Reuben, also known as Experiment 625, makes his first appearance in the 2002 animated movie Lilo and Stitch as a supporting character voiced by Rob Paulsen. Here, he appears as a small, golden-yellow, chubby koala-like alien experiment, which serves as a stepping stone in the long series of experiments leading towards the creation of Experiment 626 by Jumba. Since he and Stitch were made out of a similar matrix, they are very similar to each other and are considered cousins. And yet Reuben is still fairly distinct in having a big head with short ears that droop at the sides, large black eyes, 3 small antennae-like hairs on top, only 3 toes on each foot, a big red nose, and 2 flat buck teeth protruding from his mouth. Even though he has every ability Stitch has, as well as advanced lingual skills, he was considered by Jumba to be a failure of his plans due to Reuben's incredible laziness and a lack of bravery. But despite this, he's genuinely humble, friendly, and sympathetic, as well as revealed to be an excellent cook, being able to make a ton of tasty sandwiches very quickly. In the story, he first appears as just a dehydrated pod that slipped out of the experiment pod container, while Jumba and Pleakley were fighting over it and later being discovered and taken by Gantu, while he abducts Jumba and takes it with him back to Hamsterviel's ship for interrogation. Then, after Jumba refuses to reveal the location of the other experiment pods, Gantu and Hamsterviel decide to activate Experiment 625 and use him to torture Jumba. However, Gantu and Hamsterviel got awestruck after discovering his lazy nature when he was seen making sandwiches instead of torturing Jumba. Toward the end, he just appears sitting in Gantu's ship and making sandwiches until Gantu crashes on Earth and they both get stranded together on the island. Then, Reuben appears in almost every episode of the animated TV show Lilo and Stitch the series, which takes off after the events of the previous movie, in a prominent role, voiced again by Rob Paulsen. In the show, he mainly serves as Gantu's reluctant sidekick, after they both got stranded on Earth in the previous movie, while actually usually being no help at all since he mostly doesn't do anything, besides sandwiches, messing up Gantu's plans, or even helping Lilo and Stitch instead of Gantu on some occasions. He was also once commanded by Gantu to battle Stitch, but due to his laziness, he didn't fight, and was easily beaten. Ironically, he used his powers twice in the series, when he climbed up the ship's window and also kicked Gantu across the beach in the episode Foon, and also proved to be more tolerant of water than Stitch, as shown when he plunged into the ocean to get out of harm's way in Splody Head. Next, Reuben appears in the 2006 animated movie Leroy and Stitch, set 3 years after the incident of releasing all the experiments on the Earth as one of the major protagonists, voiced again by Rob Paulsen. In the story, he appears at the beginning with Gantu, who prepared to leave to break Hamsterviel from prison, trying to go with him, but then getting abandoned instead while trying to threaten Gantu by saying that he's going to miss his egg salad, after which he decides to convert Gantu's ship into his own sandwich shop. Sometime later, he was visited by Lilo, who even made him a PBJ sandwich as a peace offering to use the ship's video phone to call Stitch, and also gave him a name, Reuben, which he really liked, after which he repaired the ship's communication system so that she could contact Stitch. During the call, the two discovered that the Stitch in control of the BRB was an imposter, and that real Stitch was in danger, after which Lilo asked for Reuben's help and invited him to go with her, which really delighted him for not being left out again. After this, he demonstrated his incredible intelligence by repairing the whole ship himself and flying it into space to warn the Grand Councilwoman. But once they arrived, they discovered that they were too late, and Hamsterviel and his Leroy army had already overthrown the Galactic Alliance and then were ordered to be arrested. However, because Gantu got fired by Hamsterviel in the process, he soon broke them out and joined them, Stitch, Jumba, and Pleakley as a team. At the end, Reuben participates in the final battle between the experiments and the Leroy clones by slipping up the attacking Leroys with sandwiches, and after the Leroys gained the upper hand, he, alongside Lilo and Stitch, performed the song Aloha O, which caused the entire Leroy army to shut down. Following the battle, when the Galactic Alliance was reinstated and Gantu returned to his job as captain, he got hired to be Gantu's galley officer. In the anime TV series Stitch, taking place many years after the events of Leroy and Stitch, Reuben reappears, again in a major role, voiced by Dave Wittenberg. In the series, it is revealed that he and Gantu were fired from the Galactic Armada because of some incident involving bad karaoke singing. And since they needed money, they again sought out to work with Hamsterviel for employment, after which he took the same role as in the original story, but now being a bit more involved, as shown in the episode Reuben 2, where Hamsterviel modifies him to be able to use his powers as often as possible, giving him the ability to easily defeat Stitch, and also giving him a bad boy personality, which even causes Angel to dump Stitch for him. However, he was later snapped out of this trance when he saw someone making a sandwich incorrectly. He was also seen in the final episode when he, Gantu, and Hamsterviel are put in prison by the Grand Councilwoman for their crimes. Finally, Reuben makes a cameo in the 2025 live/CGI adaptation Lilo and Stitch as a hologram on a computer screen, while Jumba reveals he intends to reprogram Stitch into 627 by removing his capacity to love.